So, Phil,
Yeah.
do you know the 3 different stages of owning a vehicle?
Dating, romance, and marriage?
No.
No?
It's buying the car, owning the car, and then selling the car. And before you make a decision on buying a car, you need to consider all 3 stages.
That's right.
That's actually some pretty good dating advice, too. I'm Ryan Leverett.
I'm Phil Manzat.
And this is Car Buying 101, where we give you the insider's guide, the secrets, the insider's knowledge with 25 years of experience
That's right.
in car dealerships so that you can save time and money and have a better experience buying a car. So
Yeah.
most of you watching this video are focused primarily on the buying stage of owning a vehicle.
That's right.
Most of the videos out there on how to buy a car or how to beat the dealership are focused on the first third, which is just simply buying a car. How to
Yep.
get the best price? How do I get more money for my trade-in?
Yeah.
How do I beat the finance office?
Yep.
How do I get the best deal?
Yep.
It's all about buying the car. And people forget that there's the ownership part as well,
Yeah.
and the selling the car at the end part as well.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things you can do during the buying stage that really mess up the ownership stage
Big time.
and the selling stage.
Big time.
So a couple of good examples.
Yep.
Should you lease or finance? Well, that depends on your lifestyle.
Yep.
That depends on how you plan to own the vehicle. So don't just focus on what's the cheapest payment. Focus on what makes the most sense to own the vehicle for you. Maybe you're a business that can write off a portion of that vehicle if you lease it.
I have a really good story. I had a guy who had his own construction company, smaller company,
Yeah.
but he said to me, he says, I want to buy a new truck every couple of years. And so he came to me and he was financing the last 2. And so forever rolling over all the payments into him. I'm like, dude, we got to get you into a lease. You're going to be a little bit hurting for the first time, but after that, you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
None of this rolling payments on into stuff, right?
Versus someone that's planning to own their vehicle forever.
That's a different thing.
That's a different thing. You should find the lowest interest rate possible, ideally 0%. Make all of your payments for the 5, 6, or 7 years that you're going to make the payments, and then you own the vehicle at the end. You've paid no interest to the banks. You haven't paid anything more than you need to then own the vehicle at the very end. Or someone that is planning to probably sell off their vehicle in a few years. 0% actually doesn't make the most sense. You want to take the biggest discount you can.
Yeah.
Even if you still have to make payments, the bigger the discount, the less capital that you're paying,
Yep.
and the less money that you're going to owe on that vehicle if you do go to trade it in after 3 or 4 years. So this is making an ownership and a selling decision during the buying phase.
Yeah, and this is where we've always talked about make sure your car buying, the way you pay for the vehicle and the way you do everything matches with your car buying habits.
This also goes back to find a professional that you know, like, and trust that's willing to walk you through all 3 phases.
Yeah.
There's a lot of customers that will walk into the dealership and just go, what's the best deal on that vehicle? And I'm like,
Right.
oh man, I'm happy to get you the best deal. I'm happy to work with you. But as a professional, I also want to walk you through the next couple phases of owning that vehicle and not just focus on what's the best deal for that vehicle. It might be the wrong vehicle for you entirely.
Right, and the biggest mistake I see most buyers making, and it's what dealerships push, is they get you to focus only on the payment.
Yes.
They go,
Yeah.
they ask you, what's your monthly budget? Which is kind of a mistake to answer, which we'll get into in another point. But the thing is that what people forget is the cost of ownership. Yeah. And they go, oh, I've got this much money allotted every month for the vehicle. And then they just slap that to a payment. But then there's like, oh yeah, there's insurance, there's gas, there's upkeep.
There's a lot of European brands. I wasn't going to name a bunch, but I will. BMW, Mercedes, Audi. They have some very attractive discounts and financing rates, which make the payment on buying that vehicle pretty attractive. In fact, sometimes it can be comparable to a Toyota or a Ford or a Hyundai. And you're like, I could get a BMW for the same price as a Ford?
Yeah.
Heck yeah!
Yeah.
But then you go for your first service appointment.
Yeah. It's twice as much to keep and operate.
And this is again where you need to actually really think about the 3 different stages of owning a vehicle. It's not just about what can I get for my money. That's we're talking about a long-term investment here
Yeah.
of something that you're going to jump into every day, something that you're going to drive to work, something you're going to drive for pleasure, something that you're going to have your kids in, something that you're going to use as maybe a toy or a sport vehicle. Don't just focus on what you can get for your money.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, 3 years later, you're staring down the barrel of a $10,000 bill just to change the brakes and the tires.
Yeah.
When you don't need that.
And also, too, often, we've seen this so many times, we get the people coming in, they want to get out of their vehicle because of making this mistake, and it's not cheap to get out of.
Which comes to the selling stage of
Yeah.
owning a vehicle, is you need to set yourself up so that when you are ready to sell that vehicle or trade that vehicle in, you're not underwater, meaning that what you own the vehicle is more than what the vehicle's worth. You want to make sure that the sales professional that you work with when you buy the vehicle is setting you up so that when you trade that vehicle in, you're in a good position to do so. And that starts from, if you are financing, actually putting money down to cover your taxes and some interest.
Yeah.
Making a decision on whether cash, finance, or lease is best for you, and having a professional walk you through all those different scenarios. Making a decision on what additions, modifications are important and good for you in that purchase decision based on what you want to do with the vehicle when you sell it. Go back and watch our video on how modifications on a vehicle often hurt the value on a vehicle. This is a bad buying decision based on a more horrible selling decision when someone goes and, especially on trucks.
Yeah.
I work at a Ford dealership. I see it all the time, especially young guys that are making decent money. They want to buy a truck and jack it up and do all this stuff to it, put a performance tune on it, lift it, put wheels and tires, and then all of a sudden, fast forward 5 years, when their lifestyle changes, they have a different job and a family, and they need to get rid of that truck, and it's worth nothing.
Yeah.
Because modifications don't increase the value of your vehicle. In fact, they often hurt it. That's a bad buying decision that creates an even more horrible selling point.
Yeah. So the point is that you can't just look at one aspect. You have to consider all three.
That's right.
You have to consider what you're buying, how you're paying for it, what the cost of ownership is going to be, and what is your plan with it at the end. I mean, you might be like me where you find the vehicle you love so much you plan to keep it alive as long as possible and not give it to anybody else.
Yeah. And honestly, guys, a lot of people, I'm not trying to single you out here, Phil, but not a lot of people are in your situation where you have a stable income and a stable life situation where it's not going to change.
Yeah.
Look at a young family.
Oh yeah, different story.
Totally different story where their entire life situation, their entire economic situation could drastically change in as little as 2 or 3 years.
Well, even if I wound up having, like if I had a wife and then I had one kid, okay, we could all squeeze in, but I get a second kid, no, we got to get a different vehicle.
Let alone a dog or two and a couple hobbies, like, and then I can't come along for the trips anymore. That's a bad buying decision based on ownership. So you buy the vehicle once, you own it for years, and then you're going to sell it at some point or trade it in.
Yeah.
So please don't forsake owning the vehicle just to get the best buying deal.
Yeah.
The best, and we've said this before, oftentimes the best deal isn't the best vehicle.
Because what's
The best vehicle is not always the best deal. The best price isn't always the best deal. You need to consider the whole picture.
Yeah, because what's the average? I think it's about now, it's only, is it 3 or 4 years the average time?
Yeah, actually, that's a great point. About 10 years ago, 20 years ago, the average ownership lifespan was about 5 or 6 years. Now it's 3 or 4.
Yeah, which is nothing really.
And honestly, the amount of people that come in, they're like, this will be my last vehicle. I'm going to own this forever.
Yeah.
Come on. I'm going to see you again in 3 years.
Yeah.
And it happens all the time.
Yeah.
So I always will sit down and guide my customers, coach my customers to make an ownership decision, not just a purchase decision.
Yeah.
And make sure that you're working with a professional that does the same for you.
Yeah.
So like, share, and subscribe. Continue to follow us and stay tuned for more content.
I can't add anything to that.
We'll see you guys soon.